Let me say this most concisely and directly. How I define hitters' angst is like this. Our batters go into the batter's box in a game. When they look out to the pitcher and are waiting for the ball to be thrown, the moment they see the ball, they swing the bat. The moment they leave eyesight on the ball, their brain is already activating swing. And while they're in this mode of hitter's angst, they don't process the simple idea the ball's out there, now it's right here. They don't process the ball's next position. They process the ball's position where it is now. To just say it in short words, when our hitters see the ball, they swing. Now, I've stated this before. We can tell our hitters all we want to. See it deep. Let the ball get deep. Let the ball travel. Follow it all the way in. All these common phrases. Hey, I've been there, I've tried it, but something else is missing. What's missing is the details. You see, I can summarize all these details to our batters in this common, vague thought process. And here it is. I control the ball. The pitcher doesn't control it. I control it. See, that's a pretty broad general statement, but for all the hitters that I work with, we, with detailed and great explanation, explain to the batters how you actually control the ball. This isn't some kind of fluff idea where, be positive and, and attack. Nothing like that. There are details of how we can teach our hitters how to control the ball. And it really involves the timing of vision and the timing of adrenaline. You see, the idea of controlling the ball is an actual technique. It's a technique that our players need to practice. It's a technique that our players need to exercise every time they take batting practice. Good players, they already do it. It's a natural instinct. But how you separate the good players is the good players understand inside, and the really good ones understand it, inside their heads, how they can generate it again. That's why having the knowledge base of understanding this technique of controlling the ball is a game changer. It's a separator from you versus the next best player out there. It's a technique that's going to elevate your game. This past week, we're in mid-season right now with most of the baseball and softball players, and I'm getting a lot of requests for, hey, my son's in a slump. My son just hit like a little hitting run. Or my daughter's not, getting as solid as contact right now. And I can sort of just imagine what's going on and understand, well, why does that happen? Is it usually mechanical? Nah, not really. If you put yourself back into that hitter's shoes and experience what they have, we've all been there as coaches and sometimes as players. We know what they're going through. So what it is helping that player to reorganize things that they already do when they're good. And here's what it is. There are techniques we do as hitters, whether we consciously know them or we're unconsciously doing them. But there's a technique, and it all starts with how you look at the pitcher. It is a technique to how to see the ball early in the flight path. Once you compile all the details that are involved with seeing the ball early in the flight path, and you combine all the details that go into timing your adrenaline, and that you combine all the details that go into knowing your hitting model, and you combine all the details that go into knowing your tempo, when you combine all the details that go into, okay, what is the pitcher's pitching model, and then you combine all the details that go into, okay, what is his model and what is the pitcher's tempo. And then the big gold nugget is this. How do I merge everything together to the common place that we call the pitcher's common denominator, not his release point? You see, these are all details that go into the idea of I control the ball, the pitcher doesn't. And these are things that when we can relate and explain it to our hitters, then when they go to home plate, right, they won't have this hitter's angst. They have a compiled, detailed approach as to how to control the ball. The ball is out there, the ball is in here. That's just a vague statement from most of you, but the players who study with our system know exactly how to process the ball completely from the beginning to the end, from the start to the finish. Having worked with players that are at a pro level and working with players that are at a little league level, okay, both levels are and in between are extremely important to understand these details, okay? And here's why. We have to prepare our players for the unpredictable environment, which is the game. And when we practice in the controlled environment, we try to do stimulus that's going to recreate what happens in a game. And you know, our baseball and softball cultures right now are so fixated with bat speed, exit speed, and everything else, right? I found out is this. When you get into the uncontrolled, unpredictable environment, and when our players have to make a sudden reaction, when our players know how to back down in swing volume or swing level and have control, manipulate the bat head, they do better in games, because it's not every scenario they have to go out full bore. In fact, if you talk to pro players who've played a long time in Major League Baseball, they'll tell you the faster the pitcher, the more control they had. They just want to flip the bat out there. So all this is a combination of part of the system that we use in the world's greatest hitting system that you want to incorporate into when it's a controlled environment. We want to teach our players how, when we're in batting practice, how to control the bat, and more so how to control the ball, right? If we're going to control the ball, we have to learn how to control our bodies, how to control our vision, and how to control the bat. This is how we can have a plan of attack and helping our players overcome hitters' angst. If you're ready to make that commitment and you're preparing and you are a forward thinker, thinking ahead, hey, I'm trying to make my varsity baseball team. I'm trying to make this really good travel team. I want to get a college scholarship. I want to play professional baseball, whatever it is. If you want to be a forward thinker, now is your time, as early as you can, to get into the system and have it embedded in your brain as early as you can. This is not fluff psychology. This is not overtraining with your mechanics, even though those things are important. This is the gold nuggets to breaking it down and learning how to control the ball. As a player, you gotta realize that there is a clock on your career, on your game. You want to get as good as you can be, as young as you can get it there. If you are already a good player, what's going to separate you from the rest of the good players? It's knowledge. It's knowing your swing, okay? And when you really understand the details behind your swing of what makes you tick, then you can go out and repeat the process. You can generate it again the next day. What this system is doing is bringing into light the deep details of how you are good and why you are good, what you are doing, okay? And then whenever you falter, whenever you slip or you have a little bit of rut, all this system does is help you to understand and have a knowledge base of what you're doing and go back and reapply it. It helps you to reorganize what you are already doing. It's not changing anything that you haven't already done. whether you're a good player or you're trying to be a good player. It's helping you organize so you can keep repeating the good process, the good recipe that you already do. This is not changing you. Being a player who really valued good equipment, a good bat, a good glove, having good caps and everything else, good spikes. This is something, now that I'm on the inside, I would replace everything else because I know how valuable the knowledge is. The knowledge is what's going to separate me from the rest of my teammates and the rest of the players that are in the league that let me go out day in and day out, night after night, and be able to perform because I know what I'm doing. For everyone who's watching and listening, for all the parents, the coaches, and players, just remember, knowledge will always increase in value. May the Lord bless you.